Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Baruch HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well and taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, salutations, and mercies to the elect and the one-third remnant out there listening and doing this word with all faith and sincerity. Lord willing, this video's edifying is going to be focused around the video that was just played. Now, I read, when I first seen this video, there was no readers, like on X, it has like the authenticity verifier through Grok or whatever, tell you like, oh, this is, such and such, this is AI based. Well, now, after so many days, this is saying, Grok is saying this is AI based, but I no longer, I don't trust, the artificial intelligence completely on X. I don't trust them anyway, because we know that Esau has his hand in programming them, right? But they do reveal a lot of information and truth. But X in particular, its AI, its open AI platform has been really compromised with Esau's new conservative wokeism, right? So it doesn't, keep it 100 with you on a bunch of different issues, right? It's very political now. So anyway, it says that this is this is AI generated. I don't believe it. Even if it is, we know what they're doing in secret. Okay, there's no secret that China is amassing a humanoid and robotic army. Okay, recently a video came out of the Chinese New Year of robots, doing kung fu. Okay, so, and they were the same type of robots. So it wouldn't be far-fetched to believe that this is what's going on, regardless of what Grok has to say about it. We know what's really going on, right? Because this is the new age of warfare. Okay. But this video, is very telling, showing the abilities that they have, or that they're working on in behind the scenes, right? When these things get released, they are going to be unlike anything that's ever, been released before. All right, because they're going to be programmed to kill. And they're not going to have emotions or second thoughts about it. They're going to do exactly what they've been told to do. Okay. And they're going to have facial recognition software to where they're going to have specific targets and they're going to, hit those targets with everything they have, and they're not going to stop. If you ever watched that, it was an episode of Black Mirror that showed and this was years ago, man, at least 10 years ago, where it showed the robot dogs, right, that were killing machines. Okay. And now here it is, fast forward 2026. They're talking about that these things are being worked on by certain governments. All right. Whoop-de-doo. What is anybody surprised, right? We know what they're doing. Okay, he's not holding on to something like this for no reason. Right? The Lord is putting on his spirit to do these things because he is the devil, and he's the sword, and the Lord is going to use him as an instrument, him being, the self-proclaimed white man, as an instrument to bring, a lot of judgment here on the earth. Okay. This is Ezekiel 21:9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, a sword is sharpened and also furbished, right? This sword ultimately it's Esau Edom, right? And his different ways that he have of bringing violence and death to this earth. Okay. He has many ways, whether it's through disease warfare. Okay. Whether it's through what do you call it? Weather manipulation, right? Whether it's through psychological operations. Okay, he got things like MK Ultra. Okay, and you got robots. Okay, artificial intelligence, missiles, right? Hypersonic and intercontinental ballistic. Okay, nuclear weapons. Okay, his arsenal is vast, and the Lord put him on this earth to be exactly that, right? The ultimate Swiss Army knife, the Edomite, right? It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, right? Is there anything to laugh or play about when we see what's going on, but people still want to be, distracted with bullshit? All right. Here it is. This devil's been exposed on levels in which he's never been exposed on, with all his secret societies, with all his occult practices, all his wickedness and evil that he's been doing in secret, is being brought to light. Okay. And people are now asking questions and saying names in which they were formerly not saying, and questions they weren't asking before. You don't think it's going to be a reaction to that? This devil has to make his move. Okay. And just like over there in Gaza, with those IDF soldiers committing those atrocities, to say the least, they couldn't handle it. And their suicide rates are, through the roof, so to speak. So he knows it's going to be difficult for him to get this done through human means. Okay. That's why he's going to introduce things like Neuralink, and he's going to introduce things like literal killing machines, right? Guided by artificial intelligence. And he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Right. And, that ultimate slayer is, Yahweh Shema Shai. But he's using Esau as a vessel. Okay. And Esau is very good at his job. I mean, you pay attention throughout history. You look throughout history, look at all the death in which he's responsible for. Okay. And the Lord said that this time is going to be unlike any other time that's been on the earth. Could you fathom that? Okay. Just think about that. The Lord said he's going to make this unique to any other event. Okay. And he said, what? Newly created creatures. Okay. He's given him these abilities. Okay. To develop and invent these different technologies. Or not even invent, right? Because it's always been here, but utilize these different technologies in ways which hadn't been seen. This is Daniel 12. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Right. The Lord has a list of men, right, and women and children right? The elect and the one-third remnant, the elect and the remnant that won't be touched by these events, right? These atrocities, these tribulations, right? But the rest, if you ain't found in that book, man, you know, some very spooky, wicked things are about to get ready to take place on earth, and you won't have any protection. All right. From these said things, because it's saying it's AI now until, you see these things out here really doing this, because we know for fact that China is deploying humanoid robots in its to its civilian population. Okay, so we know if they're deploying it to civilian population, that means they've mastered some shit behind the scenes, right? When it comes to the military industrial complex, right? Because they move in the likeness, they move like Esau does. Okay, they not finna release shit unless they've perfected it, right? The internet's been around since the 60s, man. But it didn't get released to the people until like the 90s or the 80s, right? Late 80s, early 90s type shit. Okay? Same with AI. I was thinking about it the other day. You can make an argument, a serious argument, that the events that unfolded on September 11th, when it comes down to those planes crashing into those towers, right? You could argue that was AI. Not saying that the towers didn't fall, because we know for a fact they did. But the ways in which they said it happened, you have to question everything now, man. This is Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from me, because this nigga's on the level, right? With his sorcery, with his witchcraft, okay, he's definitely in his bag, okay? So we live in a day and age where you can't trust really much, where you have to have discernment through the Holy Spirit, through the Ruach HaKodesh, okay? Otherwise, you'll be left in the loop, This is Ezekiel 9 and 4. And Yahweh Shemashah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, right? The elect, right? The prophets of Yahweh Shemashah, okay? Because great evils are brewing, okay? And are about to unravel. Okay, and this mark is a mark of exemption, right? To where, Lord willing, we part of that number. We won't have to suffer in these coming days. And to the others, he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Right. Because this is the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. Because best believe this technology is going to be used, and it's going to be, it's already been brought out that this artificial intelligence is prejudice and racist, right? Because it's in the mind of its creator, the self-proclaimed white man, Esau Edom, right? Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man whom is the mark, and began in my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men, which were before the house, right? So the Lord's going to make his move, man. He's going to unleash these different weapons, right, of indignation. He's going to release them. Okay, it's just a matter of time. Okay, and every day we get closer and closer to that day. All right. So when we see things like this, it's a reminder that we are drawing nearer to that time. So with that, I give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashi, Mal, Shah, Bashim, Rakakudash, Wa, Abba, Babal, and DTADTN.